Okay, so from what we know, did the filmmakers get her blessing? Do we know what she thinks about it?
So Stephen, the screenwriter, saw the documentary about her on 30 for 30, and he wanted to see if her life rights were available. And he went on the Tonya Harding webpage and called the number for her agent, and it was a Motel 6. So he was intrigued immediately, and he tracked down Tonya. He did a series of interviews with her, and then he felt that there was a big side of the story that he wasn't hearing. So then he tracked down Jeff Gillooly and did a series of interviews with him. Both their stories contradicted each other so much that that's how he, formed the structure of the script. So he got her life rights when he wrote the script, but he wrote the script on spec. So it was an available script, and our production company found it and chased after it, and Brian Uncle's, his production company, had done the same thing, and we all kind of came together. Stephen, Brian, and myself sat down, and I pitched myself to play Tonya and to produce with our company, and we all got along immediately. We all saw the project in the same way, and our next big step was finding the director who could pull off such a unique script.
But to this date, you have had no contact with her, or have you?
I have. I did all my character prep for, 6 months. I prepped the character. And then right before we started shooting, I flew to Portland with Craig, our director, to meet her. So that's the only time I've met her in person. And since then, we stayed in touch via text message. I just, out of respect, wanted to check in, like, hey, day one of shooting, hey, we just wrapped, that sort of thing. Happy Thanksgiving, whatever it was. And I haven't seen her since then, but
are you ready to give...
She's seen the movie. She saw it. We showed it to her, again, out of courtesy, we showed it to her a week before we premiered at Toronto. But she wasn't on set. She wasn't a consultant. She didn't get a say in what was in the script. So we kind of really go for it in the script. So I was nervous for her to see it, but she was incredibly understanding.
Now, you are an expert in ice skating, from what I saw on screen. I'm just going to say you're an expert. I have a list of ice skating terms. I want to see if you can tell me what they mean, and just feel free to tell me anything.
Okay.
Okay, what is an axel?
It's when you spin in the air. There's an axel, a double axel, and what Tonya landed, a triple axel. She was the first US woman to land a triple axel in competition. And since then, only 6 women have done it in the world. So it's in 25 years. I mean, it's a humongous sporting achievement.
She's like an almanac. Here's an ice skating almanac. Okay, what is a twizzle?
I don't know what a twizzle is.
What do you think it is?
I think it's spinning with your leg out.
That works. What is a Lutz?
A triple Lutz, again, it's like all these jumps, you can either do doubles or triple Lutz. That's when you do a spin in the air, but you take, I hope I'm not getting this wrong, where an axel you take off from skating backwards. I think a Lutz is when you take off from skating forwards, which is slightly easier, I believe.
Last one.
This is scaring me. What if I'm getting it wrong?
You're fine. What is a chasse?
I don't know what a chasse is.
What do you think it is?
I think it's when you do a cartwheel on the ice. A backflip and then a cartwheel. And everyone yells, chasse.
Last question. Is this going to be a new career? Are you going to give up acting and go into skating?
I have so much respect for what figure skaters can do, and I know that I would never be able to pull off what they can do. I think I need to stick to the acting.
All right, let's. How good are you on the skates? If I was going to throw you onto a rink.
You would be surprised at how I could throw down on the skates. Yeah, I used to be, that was my dream before dreaming of being an actor. I wanted to be an Olympic figure skater. And I skated from, probably when I was 12 to 16, I skated. And I was good. I was graceful. I was powerful, graceful, gazelle on the ice. And but then it ultimately is an acrobatic sport. And I am 6 feet tall and cannot get this frame up and around more than 2 revolutions. I did 2. I could do a double sow cow. Do you even know what that is?
Tell me.
Well, I would show you, but
the floor is yours, Janney.
I've got heels and a tight dress on. I can't do it. Just sort of a...
Okay, so you know you're skating. Tell me if you know what some of these terms mean. If you don't know what they mean, just make something
Okay,
up.
All right.
A twizzle.
That is a candy you eat in the movie theater. It's usually a strawberry.
True. A Lutz.
A Lutz is a jump. A Lutz jump, I think, is the one where you come on a inside edge going backwards, left inside edge, and toe pick right and right. I don't know. I think it's
A chassé.
a chassé is a ballet term. Pas de bourrée chassé is a gliding of the feet and moving quickly. That's a chassé.
I believe those were jazz hands.
This is what you do with your feet, though. That's a chassé, but with your feet.
An axel.
An axel is a jump. It's a single axel is 1.5 revolutions, coming off your left outside edge up and around 1.5 revolutions, landing on your right outside edge. And the triple is the one that Tonya Harding did, which is 3.5 revolutions in the air, landing and not falling.
Shit, girl, you know your terms. All right, if I was Tonya's mom,
Yes.
what would you want to ask me? What would you say to me and why?
I would say, Lavana, tell me about your mother and father. Please tell me about what your upbringing was like, because it has to have been difficult. I want to know about what was it about husband number 1, husband number 2, husband number 3, husband number 4. I would want to know about those and how they failed her. I would want to know what her biggest disappointments were, what she wanted to be. I'd have so many questions I wanted to ask her, and I didn't get the luxury of doing that, but can you answer any of those for me? Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you nailed the part. Let's get real.
I just made her up, and it was all on the page. Stephen Rogers' script is brilliant, and a lot of that is on the page, and the look is just one of the most brilliant looks I've ever gotten to wear in a movie. So much fun to disappear in a role like that, and just not, I was nowhere to be. I didn't have to worry about my double chin or what. I just didn't care about. Allison Janney was not invited.
Let's talk about you for a second, because it's a feat to have longevity in this business. You've now been in the business for a couple years now.
Mm-hmm.
What's kind of surprised you about when you first started till now?
Well, I sort of was comparing myself a little bit to Tonya Harding when I was growing up, because I was just too tall, and I was I was playing 40-year-old women when I was 15. And then when I got to the age where I was in New York and I was actually ready to be cast, I was in my 20s, and people were like, you're too tall, you're too this, you don't have enough edge, you don't have this. Everyone was telling me every reason why I shouldn't be an actor. And I feel like Tonya was, she was not going to be a figure skater. She didn't have enough money, she didn't have the class, she didn't have the style, she didn't have everything people kept telling her she didn't have. But she was like, you know what, I got the triple axel, so you gotta be, I will not be ignored, Dan. There, I threw a little what's the movie I just referenced there? I will not be ignored. Fatal Attraction. Just threw a little Fatal Attraction reference in there. So I found, now I just lost my train of thought completely.
You found your way.
I found my way. Yeah, so yeah, I found my way. And it took me a little while, but I would not be denied. And it finally happened, and I love that I'm continuing to work, and I plan on working a long time. I'm not going anywhere.
She's here.
I'm here.
She's going to the Oscars right now.